You know what was big and bright this morning? The friggin' moon.
That's right.
Really
We're going around that.
Yes. We begin with a weather impact alert with a wind advisory in place for the mountains and the desert. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Yeah, the moon's something we all can look at and gaze at in awe.
Right.
And now astronauts will get pretty close to it. Let's check in with meteorologist Evan Narani this morning. A few clouds were in the way, kind of.
Going
and
back to the friggin' moon.
There.
I feel like every day there's a soundbite where I'm like, that's the soundbite of the day.
Yes.
I don't need to hear any of the other ones.
The quote of the day.
That's
Yeah.
the one, for sure. We were just, 15 minutes ago marveling
it's gone now.
at the nearly full moon. It's just now setting over the clouds as we look west. But hey, tonight, toward about 7 p.m., we'll be seeing our next full moon. Looks like moonrise, I should say, is going to be just around 7:07. So, hey, something to look forward to, that full moon. Right now, still technically a waxing gibbous. We are looking live at a fair amount of cloud cover out there. We saw some showers overnight that brought in a couple hundredths of an inch of precipitation. You can see what that looked like on satellite radar. But what we're set with now is a clearing trend, and the showers pretty much coming to a halt entirely. Coming up, we'll talk about a warmer, drier, upcoming Easter weekend that you could be watching for. That's all in just a few. As always, you can find an extended weather forecast on the CBS 8 app. You can stream now for free. Vanessa Paz checking in on what's still a little foggy, cloudy, maybe a little drizzly morning commute, but otherwise looking pretty good. Right?
Yeah, still a little juicy out there somewhat. Again, most of the rain, the light rain, I should say, occurred overnight. So it looks like for the most part, you're looking forward to a dry commute. Just remember, we haven't seen rain in quite some time. So a lot of that moisture has loosened up the dirt and oils on the freeway. So maybe a little slick out there. This is what it looks like on the 5 in both directions. A really gorgeous shot of downtown San Diego, man. This is that drive as you make your way to and from the San Diego International Airport. So it's actually on the right side of the screen there. As we take a live look outside, this is coming in from Santee. Again, steady speeds for the most part. No major crashes nor issues. Always happy to report that. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at your speeds along with your travel times this Wednesday. Back to you guys.
Vanessa, thank you so much. And right now, new federal rules are in effect for CalFresh recipients.
So starting today, about 13,000 San Diegans will begin to lose access to food benefits. News 8's Tori Apodaca live outside Feeding San Diego. That's one of the many food banks bracing for this increase in demand here, Tori.
That's right. They really are just expecting to see such a surge of people, but they say that they are prepared to serve them all. The people that are going to be being impacted by this include illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, refugees. This is all tied to the Big Beautiful Bill Act. That act that was passed cut spending to the federally funded food assistance program known as SNAP, which is known as CalFresh here in California. Bridge of Hope and Feeding San Diego are two local food banks who feed tens of millions each year. They say that there are no questions asked when you show up to get food. All are welcome. The food banks have been preparing for this change since that bill passed, but say they will still need the community's help and support.
Every day from people that they don't know what they would do without this food.
It doesn't make it any easier to know that there's going to be about 13,000 people in San Diego County that aren't going to be able to access their CalFresh benefits.
And local farms are also stepping up to make sure no one goes hungry. Coastal Roots Farm at Encinitas grows 80,000 pounds of fresh food a year and tells us it plans to put more food in its free donations for marginalized communities. And this is just phase 1 of new cuts to federal food assistance. Starting on June 1st, anyone ages 18 to 64 will need to be working a job, volunteering, or training for a job at least 80 hours per month in order to receive food assistance from the federal government. Reporting in San Diego, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Tori, thank you very much for that. President Donald Trump set to address the nation on the war with Iran tonight. This comes as he's signaling the war could come to a close in a couple of weeks.
Regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that goal has been attained.
Meantime, Iran's military has threatened to attack the Middle East offices of several American tech companies, including Microsoft, Google, and Apple, if Iranian leadership continues to be targeted. This morning, the search is on for an American journalist kidnapped in Baghdad, Iraq. The State Department says someone with ties to an Iranian-aligned militia group is in custody. Shelley Kittleson works as a contributor for Al Monitor. The news outlet is calling for her safe and immediate release.
Right now, final preparations are underway for NASA's Artemis 2 mission. Today, astronauts will take off on a 10-day mission around the moon without landing and then back to Earth to splash down near San Diego.
Incredible. A Navy ship from Naval Base San Diego will then retrieve the capsule when it gets here, while Navy divers out of Coronado will be the first to reach the astronauts in the water. So you're looking live right now at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. You see the Artemis 2 right there. The launch window is going to be opening in about 9 hours. Ivan Rodriguez with this historic mission.
We are ready to go, the team is ready to go, and the vehicle is ready to go.
After weeks of delays, NASA is finally set to launch a historic mission to send a crew of 4 astronauts on a Pathfinder trip around the moon and back. The crew includes Christina Cook, an engineer and record-holding astronaut who will become the first woman to venture to the moon. NASA's Reed Wiseman, a Navy test pilot and single father who will serve as commander of the mission. Victor Glover, a naval test pilot who will become the first black person to travel to deep space. And the Canadian Space Agency's Jeremy Hansen, a fighter pilot who will be the first non-NASA astronaut to join a lunar mission. The 10-day, roughly 600,000-mile journey will take this crew beyond the far side of the moon and deeper into space than any human has ventured before. NASA has billed the Artemis lunar program as a stepping stone for exploring deeper into the cosmos.
It is our strong hope that this mission is the start of an era where every person on Earth can look at the moon and think of it as also a destination.
For younger generations at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, the historic value is not lost.
We're going back to the frickin' moon, that's why. We're sending a woman, a person of color, and a Canadian to the moon, and we're sending a manned spacecraft the farthest we've ever sent.
At Kennedy Space Center, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
I love him. Yeah,
we want to see the full interview with this kid.
I want that guy to work for NASA someday.
Yeah,
I think he deserves it.
He's
Get
got
that
the
kid a
GoPro on the
contract.
hat ready to go.
Knows
so
how
funny.
important this mission is.
So good. But hundreds of thousands of people will be there to watch the launch. What an experience that is. We'll watch it live as well. We'll be able to stream it for you.
Yeah. Okay. A busy one going on out there in Florida. For us here in California, in Southern California right now, we've got onshore flow. You can see that flag kind of blowing toward our eastern valleys and our mountains from the coast, meaning that westerly breeze holds on. Satellite radar showing that most of the showers have subsided, but there are still a few lingering off toward our local mountains and deserts. Take a look at the 24-hour rain totals. They have not been so fruitful. They've been actually really mellow on us. So we picked up on about a couple hundredths of an inch for the most part. The heaviest accumulations that we saw up at Palomar Mountain at 13 100ths of an inch. That just goes to show if the heaviest accumulations we have in the county are right around 1/10 of an inch. Well, you know, most other spots came in with a few hundredths. Today's forecast takes us to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the upper 60s out by the coast. Low 70s inland. Should be a mild day, a comfortable day. Might see some wet roads, but other than that, looking pretty good. One big inhibitor of that, one thing you might notice throughout the day, especially the farther east you are, is how intense those wind speeds and wind gusts are. Mountains and deserts are under a wind advisory all the way through 11 p.m. now on Thursday. That's been extended an extra day. Some of the clouds that we had this morning that were bringing showers have dipped down low to the ground. Fallbrook is at about a mile of visibility. Most other spots are looking pretty good right now. Here are those afternoon highs. In La Jolla, 64. Coronado, 69. 68 in Chula Vista. A little bit cooler in Santee and El Cajon, just going for 73. And you'll see that those 60s will spread inland this afternoon. And in some cases, cities that typically make their way well into the 70s, 80s even sometimes. Fallbrook, Vista, San Marcos staying at 69 degrees this afternoon. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic. It is Wednesday. Feels good to make it halfway through the week now.
Yes, halfway through the week. We got through Taco Tuesday. Now we're entering Hump Day. And we got nice drives to welcome us for Wednesday. In fact, here's a live look right now. This is in both directions. Here's a northbound drive as you make your way in from the downtown area, headed towards Old Town, right near San Diego International Airport. Meanwhile, this is what it looks like. It's a frozen shot, but you get the deal. We're at steady speeds coming in from Santee. And then here's what it looks like if you're traveling in from the Poway area, headed southbound towards Miramar and Mira Mesa. All right, let's go ahead and pull up what's happening on your freeways. Looks like we are continuing to follow a stalled car blocking part of the off-ramp on the 15 north to get you to Market Street. Steady speeds everywhere, pretty much. We're in the green coming in from Oceanside as well as Escondido. No major issues in terms of overall travel time, still anywhere between 10 to 15 to get you southbound in from the North County. If you're traveling in from the East County headed west, about 3 to 7 minutes for you, both on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And then here's what it looks like coming in from the north or the South Bay headed north, anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. Full span of the Coronado Bridge in from Barrio Logan downtown towards the city of Coronado will take you under 5 minutes, average speeds of about 42 miles per hour. The time is 6:11. Let's go ahead and pull up your border wait times and see what you're working with. We got over 2 hours. That's what we're tracking on the wait as you cross in from San Ysidro's port of entry. And then if you're coming in from Otay Mesa's port of entry, we're tracking about an hour 20, so a little improvement there.